So if you don't follow me on Twitter, you probably don't know that I've officially switched back to the iPhone after 30 days using the Samsung Galaxy S10. If you guys don't know, Aaron from For the Love of Tech actually challenged me to use the Samsung Galaxy S10 for 30 days. I've been an iPhone user for all my life, so I accepted the challenge. Overall, I've had a great experience with the Samsung Galaxy S10. If I had to choose one, like my favorite thing, my favorite feature, my favorite spec on this phone, is definitely the battery. The battery on the Samsung Galaxy S10 is incredible. I currently own my iPhone XS, not the XS Max, but the XS. And the battery difference that I actually noticed was insane. It's way much better than the iPhone XS Max as well. It lasts me, I guess, like a day and a half, which is incredible. I mean, I never saw anything like this. The battery on this guy is insane. And the funniest thing about the battery is that I didn't even put it halfway. It was all full time, always. It was max brightness, always. So once again, pretty insane, the battery. I really like the design of the S10 as well. It's absolutely stunning. It just feels futuristic. This one right here is the ceramic version, so it's definitely got some weight into it. So it's not the lightest phone, but of course, I kind of like that as well because it feels really, really premium. It's got stainless steel sides. It just looks really good. Let's talk about the display. The colors are so saturated, which is something that I really like. There's some people complaining about it. In my opinion, I absolutely love, like, the more richer, the more saturated it is. I mean, it's not that saturated as people are making it seem, but I mean, it's pretty saturated. So something I really like because simply the colors pop. They simply feel so unreal. Like when you look at the screen and then you compare it to the iPhone, you're like, whoa, that looks way much better than the iPhone. But of course, it looks less realistic, which I'm okay with. Depends on you. Let me know in the comments down below right now. What do you prefer? Realistic or oversaturated? Now let's talk about the camera hole punch in the display because that's something that Samsung did so well. 2018 was the year of notches. Everybody was copying Apple with the notch, which is not really a good trend if you want to be honest. Some companies were doing the notch smaller, some companies were actually doing the notch bigger. Samsung, on the other hand, did what nobody was expecting. They basically grabbed the camera and put it under the display, no notch, but we've got a camera hole punch. Now, do I like this better than a notch? Yes, kind of. I mean, both of them are pretty annoying, but you get used to them after the week of usage of the phone. But if I had to choose one, I would definitely go with hole punch in the display because it simply feels like it's less there. Like the notch, you clearly see it's there, but the hole punch, it's there, but in my opinion, it's just less there. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, there's a lot of things that I don't like about this phone, but the thing that I hate the most on this phone is the infinite display. Now, what do you mean? The infinite display looks beautiful, and I agree, it is beautiful, but it sucks. Really, I hate the way that actually behaves with my hand. If I want to reach the top of the phone, I trigger certain buttons on the display, and it's so frustrating. Whenever I'm in bed and I'm laying down and my hand is always touching the infinite display, I got so annoyed sometimes. Just because of that, it made me want to switch to the iPhone. It was so incredibly frustrating sometimes. So frustrating. Samsung, please fix that. I mean, Apple, with the iPad Pro, for example, when you're drawing with your Apple Pencil, your hand is always touching the display of the iPad. But the iPad knows that that's not what you want to do, right? So, Apple has fixed it. Samsung, it's kind of your turn. I know this is not the same, but it kind of is the same. Now let's talk about the camera on the S10. I actually compared the Samsung Galaxy S10 versus the iPhone XS, the camera test. Links are down below. Definitely check that video out. It turned out really good. They're actually pretty similar in most occasions, except the portrait mode, which is, in my opinion, way better on the iPhone. And then at night, the Samsung Galaxy S10 is so bad. That's something like, sometimes, for example, it's got extra features, by the way, and I'll talk about them in just a second. But if I had to choose one camera, it would definitely be the iPhone. It saturates the photos a lot, which I told you before that I like so much better. But if I want to edit those photos, they're just simply so much better to edit on the iPhone XS since they simply feel more natural. But at nighttime, man, Samsung, you really have to get your game up on night because these cameras suck at night. Now you might be asking, why are there 3 cameras on the Samsung Galaxy S10? Well, one is the wide angle camera, which is awesome. You can actually take wide photos, which seem kind of stupid at first, but trust me, once you actually play around with the camera, and once you actually play around with the wide angle camera, you're going to want that camera on the iPhone, like that feature, the wide angle selfies as well. You can actually take wide angle selfies, which is something that is like, this is something that I wish the iPhone had. Like whenever I'm taking selfies now with my iPhone, I'm like, wait, why can't I can't make it on wide, which is so annoying. Like Apple, please add wide angle selfies to the iPhone 11. Please. The video is also really sharp, really good quality. It can actually record at 4K at 60. It's also got a great microphone, so that aspect of the camera, that's really good. If we're talking about nighttime once again, it's not good. Now my favorite feature on this phone, as I said on the beginning of the video, was definitely the battery, but my second favorite feature is definitely the reverse wireless charging. Right now, I'm simply charging my iPhone just by doing like that. It's so incredible. Now, it's actually really slow, so I don't really recommend charging your iPhone with the S10. I mean, in case of an emergency, it's gonna do great, but of course, it's not gonna charge your iPhone really fast. But it's so awesome that you can actually just charge your Galaxy Buds just like that. You can actually charge your Galaxy Watch just like that. Yes, I actually got a Galaxy Watch, and I will be doing my review this week on it. I didn't really have it. This Galaxy Watch was so bad. Like I give this phone overall like 8 out of 10, but this is so bad. I probably give this like a 4.5 out of 10. It's that bad. Now I really complained on the fingerprint reader on my previous videos on the Galaxy S10, but now after 30 days, I've officially learned how to place my finger on the phone, and it works way much better. It's not good, but it's better than I thought. Also, I got rid of the screen protector that was on the phone when I actually unboxed it. It actually works so much better without it. So Samsung, don't put a screen protector if it actually makes the phone worse for the fingerprint reader. I just don't understand why the heck you would do that. But yeah, fingerprint reader overall, I give it like a 4. I give it a 5 out of 10. It's pretty bad, but since it's under the display and Samsung is pushing boundaries, I'll give a props to Samsung for that. Still, it's not too good. And then the facial recognition, it's good, but it's so insecure. I mean, people are literally putting photos in it, the phone literally unlocks. So I'm not about that life. So concluding the whole review, in my opinion, with the Samsung Galaxy S10, here's the final question. What phone is better, the iPhone XS or the Samsung Galaxy S10? Well, the Samsung Galaxy S10 is definitely superior than the iPhone in so many ways, and it's got a bunch of new features such as reverse wireless charging, a wide camera, a fingerprint under the display. Like there's so many really cool features that are technically better than the iPhone. But which phone am I actually keeping? Well, I'm definitely keeping the iPhone, and you probably guessed it by now. Why is this? Well, it's of course, as always, it's the ecosystem. My Apple Watch. I really can't live without my Apple Watch, and since I couldn't really use my Apple Watch because that was part of my challenge, I decided to pick up, as I said, the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active. And this phone is so bad. I mean, this watch is so bad. The Apple Watch is so superior than the Galaxy Watch that I was like, yeah, no. Stay tuned for that review because my opinion is really not that good about it. And then Android. Like, Android wasn't bad, and I'm so thankful that Aaron actually, challenged me to do this challenge on not using my iPhone for 30 days because I actually got used to Android, which was kind of scary because I actually ended up liking Android. I definitely don't like it as much as the iPhone, of course. The iPhone and iOS is superior for me because iOS is simply superior than Android in so many other ways. I don't want to get into this discussion. I guess I just prefer iOS way much better than Android. It doesn't necessarily mean that, iOS is better, which it is for me, but of course that's just my opinion. I respect you if you like Android better than iOS. But I actually liked Android. It was an okay experience. The App Store is really bad on Android. That's something that I really missed on using my iPhone. Like, I wasn't discovering any good apps because there's so much crap in the Android. Like, for example, the Galaxy Watch. I know this is kind of random, but it's kind of got like the same philosophy as Android. The Galaxy Watch has a bunch of watch faces, but 90% of the watch faces that are in the watch face store on Android is so bad. Like, they're so ugly, they're so horribly designed. There's a couple that are really good, and I actually quite liked a bunch of them, but there are so many that I don't like, and that's kind of what happens with the Play Store. There's so much crap in the Play Store that is like unbelievable, for real, unbelievable. So anyways guys, that's pretty much it for my review and my opinion with the S10 Plus. It's a great phone. It's actually better than the iPhone, but it's not going to make me switch to the iPhone because the user experience that the iPhone has, you will not be able to find it anywhere else. And that's a fact, because I said so.